Iran's president apologizes, but attacks on Gulf cities continue. And as US soldiers return in coffins, a dangerous escalation in Tehran. It's day 8 in the war on Iran and things are not slowing down. Here's what you need to know.
تلقیشون بود مثل ونزوئلا میزنن و میگیرن تموم میشه میره. اما پاشون گیر کرد.
And they're bad people. They're just bad people.
The first significant hope of de-escalation in the Gulf has been dashed, almost as soon as it began. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian began the day with an apology to his Gulf neighbors and a promise. Have a listen.
این تصمیم به نیروهای مسلح گزارش داده شد که از این به بعد نباید به کشورهای همسایه حمله بکنن و یا موشک بزنن.
It was a moment seized upon almost immediately by US President Donald Trump, who took to Truth Social, describing the comments as a surrender and calling Iran the loser of the Middle East. That seems to have triggered a response. The IRGC pushed back against Iran's president, saying all US military bases and interests are still considered targets. Pezeshkian then clarified that while Iran maintains respect for its neighbors, it will exercise the right to self-defense. The skies over the Gulf seemed to prove his point. Not long after, Dubai International Airport was attacked with a drone. Then debris from an interception hit a building in Dubai Marina. Then a taxi driver was killed in a separate incident. US bases in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia have also been targeted, and more than 12 missiles were launched at Qatar, with indications that at least 4 US bases have so far been hit. Inside Iran, Israel and the US expanded the scale of the assault, hitting oil reserves for the first time. At least 3 facilities were attacked across the country, including the Tehran oil refinery, which ignited large fires across the capital. Earlier, a desalination facility in the southern Qishm Island was hit, and authorities say that was providing clean water for more than 30 villages. Iran's foreign minister put out a tweet vowing grave consequences and saying the US had set a precedent. This will immediately ring alarm bells for the Gulf nations, who are entirely dependent on desalination plants for their water supply. Iran has also continued missile barrages on major Israeli cities, including West Jerusalem, Haifa, and Tel Aviv. We're also seeing an increase in the use of cluster munitions and drone swarms to overwhelm air defenses. Israeli officials are anticipating Iran will ramp up strikes over the next few weeks, especially if it decides to redirect resources away from the Gulf. Meanwhile, Israeli forces are entering deeper into southern Lebanon, in a war it says is aimed at Hezbollah, but that comes with an increasing civilian death toll. More than 300 people have now been killed in Lebanon alone. The United States received the bodies of 6 military officers as the fallout over the war grows among Trump's base. He was elected on a promise to end so-called forever wars, ones that killed more than 7,000 US troops in Iraq and Afghanistan, not to mention the civilian death toll. So was this a huge political miscalculation for Trump? He may have believed that Iran would be a repeat of Venezuela, a swift operation to take out a head of state and make a deal for its oil. But he could have listened to his own intelligence experts, who in a classified report published just days before the war, warned that even a large-scale assault would be unlikely to remove Iran's deeply entrenched military and clerical establishment. Now, a week in, amid accusations of war crimes, it's unclear what Trump plans to do next, because that unconditional surrender he demanded from Iran doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon. That's it from me for our daily briefing. Stay with us for every development in this fast-moving war reverberating across the Middle East and beyond.